Hey, what's up, everybody? We're the Bearded Beer Mafia. My name's Josh, the Hitman.
And I'm Eric, the Enforcer.
And I'm Lee, the Sandman.
So today we're going to be talking about Clairvoyant Brewing Company. They're in the downtown Boise area. They opened in October of 2017.
Yeah, their name basically comes from that they want to produce predictably good beer. Is basically what they think. They know their customer. They know exactly what they want, and they can brew the right beer for the right time for the right individual.
They're located in they consider it the North End. I'm not sure if I would put it that way.
The South,
somewhere in the downtown area. It's just to the east of the new Whitewater Park.
They're on 28th and Idaho, right on the corner there. Used to be an old auto mechanics shop, I guess. So yeah, they did some major renovations as part of setting that up. So,
but they still have some of the flair of the mechanic or the mechanic shop as far as the doors that open.
Yeah, it's really cool atmosphere. I agree. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
When we were there, they didn't have the doors open, but they have it 2 doors in the front, another door in the back, so they could get some nice, spring or fall breezes going through the place while enjoying some beers.
On Saturday, it's 11 to 11, and then on Sunday, it's 11 to 10. So kind of on Saturday, Sunday, if you want to get your drink on early, you can pop in at 11 o'clock.
So I asked the bartender if they had happy hour, and he's like, yeah, we have it every day, all day. And I was like, what? Cool, man. What do you know? So he continued to explain that the beers that they offer are 20-ounce beers, which, typically most places pour 16 ounces or less. So it's they kind of give you more bang for buck in your glass, and that's why they consider it happy hour all day, every day.
Yeah, so $5 for 20 ounces. That's a pretty good deal.
Heck of a deal. Absolutely.
Yeah, they just didn't want to overcomplicate their menu. Just $5, 20 ounces, every beer.
Yeah, really cool, super simple menu. So I like that a lot. So to describe the place a little bit, their tap room is also their brewery. On one side of the building, they have all their barrels and the equipment they brew their beers in. And then on the other half, they have their seating, which is really cool. I love that kind of open air brewery atmosphere. And
yeah, it was completely open. Everything you could see was the entire operation. I mean, they even had some scaffolding where they were storing their malts and their hops and various equipment right, sitting 4 feet from us, while we were sitting there. And I thought really helped kind of make it a hometown feel. I really liked it. I didn't feel like it was, super sterile like some breweries you go to. Yeah, right. So not only on Thursdays and Saturdays they have the band, but on Wednesdays they have trivia nights every Wednesday. So head on down on Wednesday nights, and if you're a smarty pants, see how you can
I'll be there.
So, they did have a bunch of TVs on the wall, and at the time they were showing football games.
I actually went to their website because I'm a football fan, and I'm sure we all are. They are
Go Vikings, right?
Vikings,
yeah, Vikings.
Oh, you're my buddy. Here you go.
All right.
I'll give you a little love there. But they are on their website. They specifically advertise the Wisconsin Badgers.
Boo!
And they're also a big. I think they're in the Big Ten conference. Big Ten fans. So, Josh, when you and I were down there today, we talked to the bartender, and she said that they recently purchased NFL Sunday ticket. So if you want to go on there and on the Sunday and watch the Redskins win 16 straight games, win the Super Bowl.
And then when you wake up, you can go to
Clairvoyant.
What are you talking about, man? Right here.
They're on a 7-barrel system. And they had 11 beers on tap at the time that we went down. They may have more. They had an India Pale Ale, Red Ale, Porter, English Pale, Bohemian Pilsner, Brown Ale, a Saison, a Kolsch, a Zwickel, which is a Keller beer, and a Coffee Brown, and a mango saison, which is kind of a newish beer for them that they just tried out. I tasted it. I thought it was great. Good, nice farm type style beer with just a hint of sweetness from the mango. So,
fundamental beers brewed well is what I would describe their tap list.
They don't offer flights, but you can buy little 5 ounce pours individually, and you can buy 4 of them for the same price of a regular beer. Yeah, they just didn't have the tasting boards or the flight boards where you mark out with chalk or anything like that.
They also fill growlers, $8 for a 32, $16 for a 64 ounce growler. I didn't see that they had any growlers on hand to fill, so I'd recommend grabbing some of your own or some on the way there.
Now, do they do growlers for every type of beer they have down there? Can you?
No, they don't. In fact, there was a couple that we were going to get for the show, but because they were limited quantities, they weren't able to fill them for us.
Okay. They didn't do the saisons or the coffee brown in growlers. We did try both of them. The mango saison I thought was great. The coffee brown was exactly what it said it is. It tasted like coffee and it was good.
Yep.
So we were kind of sad that we did want to try that beer for the podcast, but they didn't do the growler fill. But go down
there. Did you cry?
I did. I shed a tear. It was good stuff. So head on down to Clairvoyant Brewing Company and try that coffee brown.
This episode, we're going to be talking about the English Pale Ale that they have to offer.
What's the ABVs on that?
The ABVs? Yeah. I believe it's right around 6.3% ABV, according to my notes.
It's right and the chalkboard exactly, yes.
That they had on their chalkboard. So, 6.3%. Should we get to pouring?
Let's get to pouring. Yes. I'm getting nice little bit of malt.
Yeah, that maybe the yeast.
You can't pick up any of the hops. Like, there's no. It's not a strong hop. The bubbles on this are really tight. The head.
The bubbles on this are pretty tight. Just kidding. Sorry, I'm surprised these guys are still my friends.
Yeah, I am too. I typically think of pale as just being a little bit weaker on the hops, kind of just being a nice light beer. But then that could just speak to my limited, access to English pale ales. But this is a lot maltier than I would have thought. But it's good. It's good. It just threw me off a little bit, that hit of malt. And then once I was like, okay, this is a malty English.
Yeah, it's interesting. English pale, that's not something we see on a tap list too often around here. So I'm kind of excited just about that fact alone.
Yeah, you see it and then it's gone because unfortunately in this market, those types of beers, most people just want the IPAs and whatnot. So they're not as inclined to the English pale, unfortunately, because this is a great beer.
Yeah,
I mean, really good.
For me, I think I'm kind of seeing some type of shift going on in the market where it was IPA, now it's hazy IPA. But I'm seeing a lot more lagers on the menus. I'm seeing traditional beers from other regions, whether it be Belgians or, whatever. Kolsch's on the menus.
And a Zwickel.
And a Zwickel. Just beers that for us are not main runner.
Yeah, those are unique.
But I'm loving the fact that they're offering beers that you can't typically get somewhere else.
It's awesome that Clairvoyant, being only a year old, is doing 2 different styles of multiple styles, and they're sticking with it.
For me, it's kind of like a very nice transition from summer to fall. You have the color, maybe of a summer type beer, but then that malty taste of it.
Yeah, there's a little bit more heavy than a typical, even than a typical pale that I'm used to, like an American pale. I think that's what makes this a little different, is that the maltiness or heaviness to it.
English is heavier on the malt than an American, because that's where I'm coming from. Is I've had a fair amount of American pale ales that are generally really light, crisp.
Yeah.
This is heavy on the malt, and it's good. But I 100% agree that this is kind of a good transition. Say that word when you're
Transition.
Transition beer.
Okay, I'm feeling it's awkward silence while I'm enjoying the last of my beer. I'm not gonna waste. That's ridiculous.
Well, we could do the King's Cup.
This is a waste of whatever.
This is what's called the King's Cup. If you can't finish your beer, you can pour it in here if you don't want to. But at the end of the night, one of us has to drink the contents of it.
I think
That's just a mess.
Are we gonna do paper, scissors, rock for the loser?
Yeah.
Or are we gonna?
Whoever wants to be man enough to step up to
Well,
the plate.
I'll put some beer in there then,
There you go.
just to add to the pot.
Well, thanks for watching. That was the English Pale Ale by Clairvoyant Brewing Company.
How'd you like that, huh?
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Okay, you guys giggling when I'm talking
Okay, let's do it.
deserving of another take.
No, that was great. Let's cut it there.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Josh.
Yeah, that was great.
All right. So that was English Pale by Clairvoyant Brewing Company. Today we're going to be talking about Clairvoyant Brewing Company, their IPA. It is a 6.5 ABVs. So let's get pouring, and I'm going to go ahead and go first.
You're gonna go first.
I'm going first. I mean,
after you, Eric.
after me, please.
After you.
Yeah,
And I'm going next.
Yeah, the other video.
Let's
talked
go
about
round robin.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the other video we talked about their whole setup and the history of them, and going
Lee, take it easy. That was
hard in the paint.
That was monster. That was monster, man.
That's a head on there.
October's
That's good though.
coming up,
You get a
Monster
nice
Mash.
aroma. Don't drink it yet, Eric.
Oh, I'm smelling.
Are you?
I'm getting a lot of
Citrus.
IPA.
Ooh, whoa! Look at that bad pour.
Yeah, there's a typical.
Cheers to bad pours,
Typical height
everybody.
of the pour there.
I'm diving in.
Yeah.
So, what are you smelling off that no head of yours?
I smell IPA beer.
I smell IPA beer too. Yeah?
Make it 3.
It is a lighter colored IPA. There's a little cloudiness to it.
I believe they said they used Citra and Centennial. Typically have like a citrus or a taste and aroma.
Well, so the
Maybe
taste and
it's-
aroma comes in depending on when you throw the hops
Yeah,
in, right?
good
Or
point,
how you brew the beer.
But it's
I
tasty.
do get a nice aroma off that head.
Yeah.
I haven't taken a sip yet.
And it's not overpowering. There's a medium hoppiness to it. It's very drinkable. I dig it. It's a good one.
I'm curious what the IBUs is.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. So
I don't think they show that.
They don't list their IBUs, and there's some debate around IBUs. Oh, they're going in for seconds.
Dude,
Yeah,
you're going to...
But there's some debate about the IBUs of whether or not how accurate it is, depending on the other factors of the beer, sweetness and various other things. So I'm curious if we were just to guess what the IBUs of this beer would be.
8.
You think 80? I was coming in around 60 or 70.
60 is what I was going to say. There's several methodologies for determining bitterness. One is like just a formula, like, okay, well, I put in this much hops at this time, thus mathematical formula equals whatever. And you can Google that and look it up online. There's others like actual instrumentation, which most breweries can't actually afford the instrumentation, so they kind of do the calculations. So depending on how well they are at math.
That's too much science.
I
That's too
know.
much.
So I think the thing that I liked about Clairvoyant is I think their mission statement is like, keep it simple.
Yeah.
I mean,
it seems like it.
between them,
Yeah,
all their beers being the same price, them being basically the same, 20 ounces. They're sticking to the fundamental beers, IPAs, reds, porters.
Right up my alley.
They're not
Simplify.
going crazy.
Yeah.
Just are nailing the fundamentals, and they don't care about all the,
And that's a good point that you bring up, because I had noticed when going to their website that they have a list of their beers, but they don't necessarily have these long, lengthy descriptions that you see a lot of places do. So I think for one, it doesn't it doesn't give you a bias like up front, so you can truly taste each individual beer and okay, this has this content in it, or has this certain taste to it. So I think it gives you more of an impartial judgment of what they're producing.
Yep.
So I think this is a really well balanced beer.
That's good.
Yeah.
Look at the Red Ale by Clairvoyant. It is a 5.8 ABV. So I say let's just dive right in and see what we got going on.
Yeah, let's dive right in.
I don't know a whole lot about the designation of a red versus an amber versus a brown, if it's just the color.
It does have that amber brown kind of color to it.
Well, that's what's really weird about ambers, browns, reds, especially if you look at this color.
Yeah, this is just slightly red.
Yeah, but it's mostly brown with a tinge of red.
Yeah, exactly. I'm having a real hard time picking up too many notes other than kind of just a malty.
Yeah.
Definitely the malt.
Not much for aroma for me either. I second that notion.
A little bit of caramel, kind of like
from the smell,
toastiness, but I mean it's really light on the aroma. This is really tasty. I mean it's malty for sure.
But yeah, there's hops more so in the aftertaste, not a ton.
Yeah, I think in the aftertaste.
And I believe this is for sure, like a lingering kind of in your palate.
A little bit bitter on the the tongue right at the end, but that malt and toasty malt on the front is overpowering any hop I'm getting at the beginning. So, anywho,
I don't want to sound like hoity-toity either.
No,
hoity-toity, especially if you say hoity-toity like that.
Oh, it's definitely a red when it comes out your nose. I mean, I would say I've had shot porters out my nose before, and this is definitely a red out my nose.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree.
I know I've said this about pretty much every beer we've tasted by Clairvoyant. This is really good.
Are they paying you?
I think they might. Under the table.
He's got the hookup. Yes. Honestly, we're
thanks, Tim.
The breweries.
Checks in the mail.
The breweries aren't paying us anything to talk about them.
No.
This is something we enjoy doing. We want to explore Idaho breweries and what they have to offer.
So if you subscribe to us and watch any of our previous videos, almost every single episode, whatever brewery, there's always a beer that's just off to me. Just doesn't hit. It's, this smells like Grandma's foot or Grandma's basement or whatever. We've done now 3 beers from Clairvoyant,
foot, dude. Oh, that is not a good description.
We've done 3 beers. We did the English Pale, we did the IPA, and we did now a red.
I say fundamentally solid is what I would describe, but I don't know fundamentals, so take that with a grain of salt.
So that means nothing.
It doesn't mean anything, but really, like, there's breweries that don't do anything out of the box or too crazy, but brew a solid beer for that genre.
Yeah, a lot of breweries, their beer is hit and miss because they're experimental or they're I'm doing a pickle. Raspberry lager.
Which I think a lot of those is just marketing.
Exactly. And
get them in there, try the beer, and then realize that they also offer solid beers too.
It's a great niche to get people in the door. To like, oh, I've had IPAs. Yeah, I'm interested in IPAs. But they don't do great on the fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
But I think Clairvoyant is doing great on the fundamentals. Today we're talking about Clairvoyant Brewing Company, and we're going to be tasting and reviewing their porter. So I'm going to just go ahead and dig right in.
Just dive right in.
So Eric, do you know what the ABV on this is?
This is a 5.1 ABVs. Thanks for asking, Lee.
A little heavy on this one because I'm looking forward to a dark one. It's coming up fall time.
It's pretty dark, but not quite as dark as a stout. And there's just a smidge of light coming through.
I would say
it's dark.
It's pretty
almost
dang dark.
It's not solid.
You can't see through it.
Aroma off the top.
So some toasty, malted. I mean, typical porter.
Typical porter is what I'm smelling right here.
I have a little bit of coffee, maybe.
So I'm getting a little bit of the sweet, toasted caramel notes at the beginning. And then I'm getting that kind of bitter coffee grounds at the end.
Okay.
And it's all from the malt. I don't think that bitterness comes from the hops at all.
Nah.
I think it's just
No, I'm not
bitter.
seeing that. It's a porter.
Yeah, this is another good solid beer.
Yeah.
But you kind of you like the darker beers typically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so like porters for me have never really struck a chord. Typical porter is what I'm getting right here.
Yeah, it is typical in every way. If you like porters,
this
is a good porter.
That's exactly what I was going to say. This is a porter. It's a fundamental, again, common thing with Clairvoyant, where they do solid main runner beers for that genre that they're brewing. Nothing out of the box, nothing too crazy, but a solid beer. What I like about Clairvoyant is the atmosphere.
Yeah.
The beer is almost secondary. The atmosphere is what makes this beer that much better, not to mention 20-ounce pours.
No, I 100% agree. All their beers are just solid, just good across the board. Nothing there is hit or miss. No. Everything is just good fundamentals, and they've only been open for a year. And if you can nail the fundamentals first and then kind of start experimenting. So I know they're looking to experiment, but they want to nail the fundamentals first.
Yeah.
And I think they've nailed the fundamentals. This porter is not my favorite of their lineup, but it's a good solid porter.
Yeah, for sure. I would say if you enjoyed porters, this one's not going to let you down.
I'm excited for Clairvoyant, what they're going to do in the next couple of years. Cause
I am too.
If the 4 beers we've tried are any indication, they do some solid work.
I think if they stick to the fundamentals, they have the equipment, they have the knowledge from the leadership, the owners. I firmly believe they'll continue to do good beer.
And their location is, right within downtown Boise.
Fabulous.
Also, this has been the porter from Clairvoyant Brewing Company. We all really liked it, and I loved it. We sampled the English Pale. We did the IPA, their red ale, and then finally their porter. Those were the 4 beers that we sampled from Clairvoyant Brewing Company here in Boise, Idaho. So
yeah, we sampled.
AKA full pours, AKA we're quite inebriated right now.
Oh, I'm fine.
So now,
no.
So Lee,
totally sober.
Yeah.
What was your beer of the night?
So for me, I'd have to go with the English Pale Ale. For me, this is my favorite time of the year, the transition from the summertime to the fall time.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, this is the perfect type of beer for that transition. You have the color of summer as far as the light and the crispiness, but then also you have that kind of that malty porter taste to it. So, so for me, this is the perfect beer at the perfect time of the year.
Well, I'll tell you what, I enjoyed every one of them. I think the porter comes in bottom of the list, mainly because the porter's genre is not my style of beer, and there was nothing like aha or mind blowing about it. It was a solid porter, along with every one of their beers. They brew solid beer for each style. I was super excited about the English Pale Ale, and I enjoyed it a lot, but the IPA is my pick tonight. Primarily, I just enjoy IPAs, and that one was a really solid beer. I could drink it all day.
Yeah, I think all of their beers were just solid, but that English Pale, I think, stood out just a little bit for me because it was just slightly maltier than I expected, but in a good way. So I'm with Lee. That English Pale.
2 votes for English Pale.
That was really good.
That, like I said, I was torn to a degree between the two. They were for me. I chose the IPA, but that English Pale Ale, I'd order again. It's not something you would typically find on a regular menu, at least here in the Boise area.
I think that's why I voted for it as well, and not for the IPA, because I agree with you that IPA was really good, but you can find an IPA that is that good. Lots of places, but an English pale that is that good, you're not going to find that everywhere. So
yeah, you almost convinced me to change my vote and go 3 for 3, but I'm not going to do it.
You still got time. Change it.
We're just telling people about Idaho breweries, and honestly, I think we found a nice little gem in Clairvoyant Brewing.
Absolutely.
It's great to have solid beer, but at Clairvoyant, their atmosphere is phenomenal.
It was fun drinking this beer with, two buddies in the Beer Mafia podcast studio, but it was even more fun when we went and we actually enjoyed the atmosphere at Clairvoyant. So instead of taking growlers to go, I'd recommend drinking them there.
For sure.
Enjoy the atmosphere.
Make a night of it. Look for a band. If you like that kind of thing, go play some board games. Yeah. It's a great place, man, and they're going to be there in the downtown area for a good amount of time.
It could be the beer talking, but I love you, Clairvoyant. This was the beer of the night. We had 2 for English Pale, Lee and I, and 1 for the IPA, but we almost convinced him to go with English Pale.
I don't give in to peer pressure that easy. Come on.
So, this has been the Beer to Beer Mafia talking about Clairvoyant Brewing, and hope you have a great night. But before we sign off,
I forgot about that mess of
we got the King's Cup. So this is basically the beer that we didn't drink.
It's kind of a new thing for us.
Yeah.
Huh?
So this is a little bit of a mix of the English Pale.
What a dumb idea.
IPA, a little bit of red.
Looks like a flower base.
And a little bit of porter. Actually, probably more porter than anything. I challenge us to drink it. I'm going to lead the pack, and I'm going to have a nice little hit off of it. Tasting notes, I'm really getting.
What's the aroma are you getting off of that?
I'm getting some maltiness, probably from the English Pale and from the porter, and from the red. But
for sure, yeah. I think we.
I mean, it's got the toastiness.
You got the nice drip going down
of the porter.
Yeah,
some of the
bitterness. That was a bad pour.
Some of the bitterness of the IPA.
It's kind of hard.
Lee just shook it.
Oh, woo! That's how you do it.
Or the tasting notes, Lee.
It's good.
It's got beer in it.
It tastes like
those,
beer.
Those notes were fabulous.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, the whole 9. This has been the Beer to Beer Mafia. Thanks for watching.